So here we go. Let's have some fun. This was really cute. Now, what I should probably do is read the email as it was, then I will go paragraph by paragraph as I gave my points after each section. Okay, so I'll read the email as it was delivered to Seamus. By the way, as you know, anything sent through the mail is deemed contract upon sending, not receipt, and it's based on sending, because if there is an open mailbox, that is assumed acceptance. You got an open mailbox with an address on it, name, whatever that you have spiritually agreed to have, then you are deemed under contract spiritually. I can play the game too. So here it is. Here's what Seamus got back. And oh, by the way, I sent this to Jeff, whatever his name is, false impersonation guy. I sent this to him about 2 hours ago. I also sent it to the High Consulate and a couple others. So nothing like starting a pot. So here it is. I changed the name because this is a very general reply to a specific individual, but it's also a very specific reply too. So let me just share the email, then I'll break it down for you. So, dear blah blah blah, I wrote I who shall not be named. Your email dated September 17th, 2013, received by the Ministry of Justice, has been forwarded to me for response. I am responding on behalf of the Attorney General and Minister of Justice. Your email and the assertions made in it do not create any enforceable rights against the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, the Government of British Columbia, or anyone else. Whatever enforceable rights you may have arise from and under the law of British Columbia and Canada as interpreted by the courts. Those rights are always subject to the limits of the law. Oh, I can hardly wait to jump in here. Anyway, as for your obligations under the law, while you are in this province, you are subject to all of the laws of Canada and British Columbia, including those with respect to your conduct while you are here or any property you may have here. If you engage in conduct that is contrary to the law of Canada or British Columbia, you will be subject to whatever penalties or remedies that the law may provide. This letter constitutes a specific refusal. This letter constitutes a specific refusal by the Government of British Columbia and any other officials of the Government of British Columbia to whom your email may refer to accept, agree, or to be bound by the alleged legal outcomes asserted in that email. It also constitutes a general reservation of the rights of the Government of British Columbia and its officials in response to your email. That refusal and reservation of rights also apply to anything in or arising from any similar correspondence that you may have sent to officials of the Government of British Columbia in the past, or that you may send to them in the future, without any need for future response by any such official. If you comment or are otherwise involved in any legal proceedings in which you intend to assert positions of the sort referred to in your email, you must deliver notice in accordance with Rule 4-3 of the Supreme Court Civil Rules. For more information on the rules of the court and how to access the applicable forms, you may wish to access the Click Law website at blank blank blank. In addition, a guidebook called Transition to New Supreme Court Rules Pertaining to Civil Non-Family Claims is available at the website of the Justice Education Society at blank blank blank. You may be interested in a ruling of the Supreme Court of British Columbia in a case known as ZU versus RCMP 2011 BCSC 696. Coincidence. In her reasons for judgment dated May 31st, 2011, the Honorable Madam Justice H.C. Hyslop found that Wayne James Zhu's claims against the RPMP, which relied on assertions of law and legal rights similar to those asserted in your email, failed to disclose a cause of action known to law. An electronic copy of those reasons can be accessed at blank blank blank. If you need advice about your legal rights and options, you may consider contacting a lawyer in private practice. If you wish to consult a lawyer in British Columbia, you have the option of calling the lawyer referral service at whatever Look, you gave the outside British Columbia number, so I have to give them a call. Anyway, this service provided by the Canadian Bar Association can refer you to a lawyer in this province who can be consulted for up to 30 minutes for a fee of $25 plus applicable taxes, because with us it's all about fucking money. Sorry I added that. Information about the lawyer referral service is available from the Canadian Bar Association, British Columbia branch website at whatever. I trust that this information will be helpful. Sincerely, Jeff Moisey, Acting Assistant Deputy Attorney General. Yeah. It's party time.
Woo! That's so exciting.
Oh, it's party time.
I love that case they referred me to as a free man on the land, of course. And ICBC also has labeled me a free man on the land in my other document, too, by the way.
Oh, no, then I need that, too. So you make sure you get all this stuff to me, please. Okay.
Yeah, it's in your email right now.
Yeah, thank you. I went looking for yours today. As soon as I found out what was going on. Anyway, it's been a good day. So here, I'm going to do it section by section the way it was laid out to you. Excuse me. Very short, bite-sized snippets. I want to show you how to interpret a document properly from a position of power, knowing who you are. Here it is. So here's what was said. Your email dated September 17th, 2013, received by the Ministry of Justice, has been forwarded to me for response. I am responding on behalf of the Attorney General and Minister of Justice. Okay, here's what I say. Well, of course you are, because no crooked boss will ever take the heat for anything they can toss down onto one of their dogs like you. That is merely a statement of fact, not a personal slight, since your bosses have many dogs to throw under their buses. Next paragraph. From Jeff. Your email and the assertions made in it do not create any enforceable rights against the Attorney General and the Minister of Justice, the Government of British Columbia, or anyone else. Whatever enforceable rights you may have arise from and under the law of British Columbia and Canada as interpreted by the courts. Those rights are always subject to the limits of the law. Well, Jerkstain, let me tell you this. You see, dear Jeff, you're truly missing the point, but then anyone who responds with a, nah, you can't touch me, us, as their opening statement only confirms what I know to be true, where only the guilty of crimes against humanity are concerned. I need no courts to prove anything, inasmuch as your own heart, as well as the hearts of others enslaving humanity, is already known by your actions. Those acts cannot be taken back, only balanced via universal law, not your man-made illusional ones. In short, what goes around comes around. No effort on my part required. Quite simple, really. Back to you, Jeff. As for your obligations under law, while you're in this province, you are subject to all of the laws of Canada and British Columbia, including those with respect to your conduct while you are here or any property you may have here. If you engage in conduct that is contrary to the law of Canada or British Columbia, you will be subject to whatever penalties or remedies that the law may provide. Well, Jeff, here's what I think. Unfortunately for you and the rest of your fraudulent system, you need a person to be subject, or to reside in one of your fictional regions. I have no sworn or oath allegiances, pledges or the like to your fictional corporate governments. To do so would render me a dead fictional character in your silly little play called Admiralty, Phoenician, Mercantile, Commerce Courts, Churches, same thing by the way, look it up. As far as property goes, anything claimed as owned by me, the living being, would instantly render me a thief to claim something registered to the Crown, silly. The same thing applies to you, but then only Bar Temple members have right of copyright use. I find it amusingly ironic that you and your fellow deceivers are concerned about mine or anyone else's conduct when you should be more concerned with your own mirror and how you and those enslaving humanity are conducting yourselves with things like, human trafficking, fraud, child kidnapping, grand thefts, etc., against those you purport to serve. Where you are concerned with laws contrary to fictional states, you should be more concerned with the injuries these delusions are causing your fellow man, not some dead fictional corporation created in a back room somewhere for fools to pledge their souls to because of their own personal greed and tendency towards sociopathic psychopathy. Back to you, Jeff. This letter constitutes a specific refusal by the Government of British Columbia and any other officials of the Government of British Columbia to whom your email may refer to, accept, agree, or to be bound by the alleged legal outcomes asserted in that email. It also constitutes a general reservation of the rights of the Government of British Columbia and its officials in response to your email. Oh, Jeff, you're so excitable. Here's what I say. Oh, well, of course it does. Because truth in this matter is a terrifying thing for those like you that have something to fear being exposed. Since you are preaching your laws, you are obligated to them, and one of those is contract is deemed accepted via the mail, be it physical or electronic. There can be no legal outcomes where universal law is concerned and where no contract is in place to bind or create joinder with anyone that is not one of your persons/surety, where that consent must be in place before the law has any effect. In short, to play your game, one must be a willing and consenting legal person/fool, etc. You see, my friend, this is not about you or your cohorts being dethroned. This is about taking down your entire house of cards worldwide. And unfortunately for you and your teammates, the masses have this most basic truth now on a most spiritual of contracts level. Back to you, Jeff. That refusal and reservation of rights also apply to anything in or arising from any similar correspondence that you may have sent to officials of the government of British Columbia in the past, or that you may send to them in the future, without any need for future response by any such official. Oh, Jeff, you're so excitable. Here's what I say. I am not interested in yours or any other fictional entity's response, inasmuch as I'm used to watching cowards run when faced with the most basic of truths that undermine their illusional authority. This is the fundamental flaw when a system is built entirely on a deception and fraud, to literally steal the minds, bodies, and souls of those you and your cohorts insist you are serving. It is only important to me that I let you and your worldwide partners know that I and countless millions of others are awakened to this ruse and treachery. I truly understand your fear, inasmuch as there are countless millions that are less vengeful than me, where I wish no harm upon anyone, and where much harm has been done to myself, my family, and the rest of humanity under this yoke of slavery you defend, support, and uphold with your spiritual consent. No, my friend, this isn't about me and you anymore. This is about you and humanity as a collective whole, and how you conduct yourself with regards to your choices to continue or help end the slavery of your fellow man. Back to you, Jeff. If you commence or are otherwise involved in any legal proceedings in which you intend to assert positions of the sort referred to in your email, you must deliver notice in accordance with Rule 4-3 of the Supreme Court Civil Rules. I should mention that when you put Rule 4-3 in Skype, it comes up with the devil head. I shit you not. Anyway, continue on, Jeff. Okay. For more information on the rules of the court and how to access the applicable blah, 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 whatever, we already know. We've already heard that. Again, this is me talking. Again, I have no interest in legal proceedings, for that is the realm of the dead, and to engage in such things is merely a continuation of the frauds I and humanity have been deceived into performing via the original sin of the Crown, a.k.a. Vatican City, State, City of London, State, Washington, District of Columbia, State, which is the deception of mothers and fathers to register their children and render them dead fictional persons unknowingly as a result. I have no need of any of your fictional church slate courts to assert any position where my position is quite clear to me. And as well to yourself, or you wouldn't have spent so much time trying to assert your feigned authority, redirecting everything back to the very courts that have no jurisdiction over me. Such a typical lawyer tactic, and one that is quite visibly in fear of this truth, otherwise your obvious sidestepping of this most critical truth that sets man free, would not make up the entire body of your reply. It also helps to know Phoenician law as it pertains to the trickery contained within the sounds of the words, where spellings are indoctrinated into mankind. Back to you, Jeff. You may be interested in a ruling of the Supreme Court of British Columbia in a case of blah, 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 whatever. Actually, no, Jeff, I'm not interested, because it is a ruling based in fraud from a fraudulent system where the ruling could not exist without the courts knowingly aiding and abetting anyone via the legal name fraud. Unfortunately, the being fraudulently acting as Wayne James Zoo did not know how to expose the system/court's fraud at the time of that fictional ruling. This is the, and I quote you, fail to disclose a cause of action known to law you are referring to, which is the intent by the Crown via registration, deception, aiding and abetting via non-disclosure of this little fact of law. If there's anything that interests me, that is it. and now that fact is disclosed, and thank you for making it so easy to show you. Perhaps you'll pop by that link and add this new-to-you information. There is but one law I stand in, and that is do unto others as you would have them do unto you, where I choose to make my mirror reflection stainless, whereupon I have no wish to harm or injure my fellow man. By your actions you are known, and there is no legal name to hide behind. Back to you, Jeff. If you need advice about your legal rights options, blah, 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 yeah, $25, yeah, we know, Jeff, we know. No, I do not need, nor do I wish for any advice from you or anyone who has sworn an oath of fealty to a corporate king/queen/master, etc. / a dead fictional character that is placed above their duty to their fellow man. Again, I see these as sociopathic and psychopathic, in the same way that I view a serial killer or child rapist. Those that aid and abet in these crimes of omission are as guilty as the ones committing the crimes themselves. I also find it amusing in how many times you deferred the responsibility of your actions and the ones you were speaking on behalf of, thus rendering your words theirs. In effect, one stone, three birds, so thank you for making that easy as well. All Bar Temple members serve the fictional crown. All Bar Temple members serve the fictional crown where I choose to wear my own real one. I trust this information will be helpful, says Jeff, and I wrote, very. Sincerely, I broke it down for him. Sin cerebrum lie. Phonics made easy. Jeff Moisey, Acting Assistant Deputy Attorney General. My response to that title, indeed you are acting, though unfortunately your performance doesn't rate an Oscar nomination. I'm afraid acting of this caliber doesn't even rate being an extra in this movie, where all the world's a stage. It's funny, the very name your fictional world seeks is the very proof of the intent to commit fraud anyone needs to expose these crimes against humanity, and fortunately for humanity, we caught on. Interesting to note that Pope Francis' Apostolic Letter of July 11, 2013, effectively removed all immunity under Roman Curia, the very basis upon which all corporations could exist at all. So much for that final layer of protection, eh? There you go. And I did a nice little PS when I sent the email to him. So let me share the PS with you, if I may. Get Skype here, and I think you'll enjoy the PS more than anything else. I know I did. I sure as hell loved it. All right, scroll. Oh, I've got to defrag my computer. It's running a bit slow here. So where is it? I texted it over to Ninja. So here it was, on the email I sent directly to Jeff and a few others. P.S. I've added a few other documents / information sheets that are currently making their way into countless millions of hands around the world, which share some basic truths as to the corrupt system you and so many would-be enslavers of humanity worship. Bail so thoroughly. LOL. Post-bail, indeed. Time to bail out of your ship, mind, or simply bail out, period. The ship of Admiralty is sank, and I'm here to watch the rats leave the ship. Almost as fascinating as watching lemmings, really. After all, it is the intent to do injury that is the crime after the fact of one is known by for one's actions, where the intent, proof of that intent, is all in the intent to register via birth certification. Done.